Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show, and we are joined once again by our coach, Jesse Lee. That's his name, and the name of his company,
Yes.
too. Yeah, it's Lee's Coaching Consulting Services, located in Bridgeport, Connecticut, but serving you anywhere around the world, providing couples, of course, group, individual type of workshops, personal development, life coaching, business coaching, you name it, the man does it. Welcome back. How are you today?
Good. How you doing, Jill?
I'm doing well, sweetheart. Thank you for asking. How's your family? Everyone good?
Everybody's doing great, thank God.
Super
It's
important.
an interesting Wednesday, so it's Happy Wednesday, as you call it.
A hump day. Exactly. Lee'sCoachingConsulting.com. Is that how we can find you?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And anything you want to mention about yourself and your services before we begin today's big topic?
Okay. Well, my name is Jesse Lee. I'm an coach and a consultant. I offers life skills coaching, business coaching, and some other services. I help with challenges for everyday struggles, and I help with social development and all that other stuff.
All that other stuff. There's a lot you do. He's so modest, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk today about one of the things to start. It's called communication. It's key with everything in life, but in specifically, how can we learn to improve our communication with our partner? What are the suggestions, Jesse?
Oh my goodness, Jill. This is a tough, really tough thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've been married for quite a while. I've been married for 14 years, but every day is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And some experts suggest, believe it or not, that you actually spend time with your significant other for about 15 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it can be difficult at times to do that. So I would recommend maybe around at least 8 to 10 hours a week. Due to our work schedule and different things like that, it could be tough. But if you spend a little time in the morning, you spend a little time in the evening, just to have that undivided attention, that's very important.
Mm-hmm. But
Yes.
some people don't make the time. So talk about the importance of doing that. You got to make the time.
Yes, yes. And it's important to make the time because this is how we understand our partner and we're able to understand their feelings. So you have to pencil that time in. And a lot of times, a lot of us have demanding jobs, so we travel, we do all these things. So maybe you could send a text, send some texts. Maybe you can send an email. Face to face is not always convenient for us. So, send an email, send a text, phone conversation for about 15 minutes, maybe at lunchtime, maybe another, I would say a half an hour, 20 minutes if you're traveling. You can have with your significant other. Ask them questions. How are you feeling today? How was your day going? Just different things like that, just to get a feel of how they're doing. And if you do it enough, you can be able to feel their energy of how they're feeling. And sometimes that energy could be positive or negative, right? So now we have to learn how to deal with the energy and talk it out.
Interesting. So, obviously, if there's communication issues, we also experience conflicts in relationships. So, can we talk about some strategies that may be able to help us resolve conflicts?
Yes. It's a good strategy that I tried years ago, me and my wife, because we had some problems with communication. And that happens in the beginning of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You adjust and different things like that happens. Create a feelings box, a feelings and a conflict box.
Hmm.
And you actually get a shoebox, which is pretty interesting. It's kind of
Okay.
silly, but you get a shoebox. And each partner write down 10 things and conflicts that they are having at the particular time in their mind and they want to
Okay.
discuss, right? You throw all those things in a box, and at the end of the week, go through two conflicts at a
Mm-hmm.
time and talk it out. Talk about different solutions. You can figure out for the problem. Just have a one-on-one. This works for a lot of people because sometimes we're uncomfortable with talking
Mm-hmm.
to our partner face
Yeah.
to face because we get afraid. Our anxiety goes up. A lot of things happen. So that shoebox idea, it worked very good for us in the beginning. And then gradually, as we was doing the routine every week, now we're able to talk face to face. Now we're able to sit down with each other.
And any other suggestions? Is there any other strategies? So sit down, talk down, write stuff down. Anything else that would be beneficial to someone? Because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conflict with people, and I wish there was like a one choice answer that worked for everyone, but it doesn't, right? So there's got to be different methods.
Yes, yes. So that's why you have to do trial and error. And a lot of times what I like to do is to sit down with my partner and have that eye contact and just ask, how are you feeling today? Just ask, how are you feeling today? And they can express different things. They may say one or two words, but just make them aware that you care about their feelings and you just want to give a check-in, okay? And you can do that. That eye-to-eye contact may work, and sitting down may work. And also, what I also do, Jill, write a letter. I used to do this a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Write a letter to your spouse,
Mm-hmm.
to your significant other, how you feel,
Okay.
what is valuable
Yeah.
about them to you.
Wow.
You're a great
True.
person. I miss you. And it could be
Mm-hmm.
just two sentences, right? And then all of a sudden, now you have a surprise for them. I got a dozen of roses for you, or I got this little card, or I got a piece of candy that you love to eat. Those little things are so
Go a long
special to
way.
someone. Yes, yes,
And even like leaving, what I used to do is like leave letters, like in like your lunchbox, stuff like that.
yes,
Leaving or in the car when you go in, makes
yes,
you smile,
yes,
makes you
yes,
laugh, and
yes,
makes you feel appreciated. So, all right, those
yes.
are some good ideas. Perfect. Also, let's talk about the building trust aspect and how do you strengthen the bond with your partner?
I always tell a lot of couples this that I talk to. You have to have a friendship in order for that bond to work. Friendship, and I always suggest this because you can't just jump into a relationship and
Mm-hmm.
then you act like, oh, we're together and we love each other, but you don't really know anything about the
Mm-hmm.
person, right?
True.
So, me and my wife, we knew each other since 7 years old. So I have the luxury of knowing her since childhood. So, I know most of everything about her and what she likes and dislikes. But a lot of people, when they're dating, they don't know each other that
Mm-hmm.
well. So I would suggest starting with a friend basis, starting what your favorite color, what you like to do, what interests you. Do you like to paint? Do you like to draw? Just different things like that, and then get a connection of what you guys like to do. And sometimes that friendship, even if they're going through different struggles and patterns, and sometimes when you're in a relationship, you don't start as girlfriend and boyfriend right away.
Yep.
You
True.
start as being a friend, as being there for that person, and they're expressing their feelings, they're expressing, how they are, different things like that. And as they express their feelings, the main thing is they want to know that you're there all the time to listen. So being a friend causes you now to be intimate. And now you have feelings, and now you start to develop a relationship.
Mm-hmm. And also, though, for those out there who are just, in the process of being in a relationship, and maybe we caught you at a good time today, and you're thinking about how do you strengthen the bond? I always like making sure it's hard though with kids, let's be honest, and that's also another factor. Without kids, it's a lot easier to make time for each other, but with kids, what do you suggest to parents? Like, I find it's important to make a date night every now and then. Like, you have to do those things, but explain the difference in that, right? So in a relationship with children involved and without.
It is it's very difficult with children. And you know what? And you have to be strategic because some people have more than one child, so it's kind of hard to get a babysitter at that point. So I would suggest having a date night at home, having the kids putting them to bed a little early and picking a movie, picking the activity that we want to do, put them to bed at 7 o'clock. And now at 9, you guys can spend a couple of hours together. You can enjoy each other. That's the start of having that personal time, right? So at home, if you can't get out, start that. And eventually, as you start that, now you need to come up with different methods. When the kids are in school, you can have lunch, right? Just different things like that that you can do. So, it's stressful, but at the same time, you have to have that little time, at least I would say maybe once a month. That's practical because we're very busy with our life.
Right. Well, also the importance of keeping that love alive and that passion alive. And I think, like you mentioned, though, it is a lot of those little things. But then people start saying, "Well, it's hard with work, and how do I balance work and life?" And could you share your thoughts on that? Because how do you create that healthy balance?
Jill, the main thing is, which I realize, you have to set limits. Don't push yourself, don't stress yourself too thin, okay? So those phone calls that your friends are calling you, the work calls, different things that's happening to you. Okay, enough is enough. Now I'm going to take a certain amount of phone calls, and now I'm going to do a certain amount of engagements and certain amount of things. So now I need to be able to create that extra time for my significant other.
Hmm.
So if you set limits for yourself, now you're able to do different things. That is your priority. Okay, set your priorities straight. Okay, we know your work is very important, but also a priority in life is your relationship with your significant other. So if you set those priorities, that would be beneficial for you.
Interesting. All right, good to know. And if what happens when I just feel like so many of us are working jobs. A lot of families nowadays, two couples are working. So in the family aspect, that makes it even harder on the mother and the father and the whole work-life balance. Are there suggestions that we could do to balance this?
Yeah, and it could be very hard, regarding people work schedules and different things like that. So that's why I would suggest for two parents that work so hard, take a day off, take a maintenance day, as I call it, right? A maintenance day that you can kind of regroup your thoughts, and you could figure out that time slot. Have a conversation with your significant other so you guys can both problem solve and figure
Hmm.
out different things to do. And you have to make it a priority. I know it's tough, but in order for your relationship to progress, you have to make that a priority so you can have that time together.
Interesting. And then also just want to point out that intimacy becomes a factor and lack of that too, especially when you marry in a relationship. But the importance of that, you really need to keep that connection, intimacy. What types of goals do you have in mind for that? How can we do that?
You're talking about regarding intimacy rights, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so regarding the intimate aspect of it, once you have that undivided attention, which is that 8 hours a week, now you're able to be more intimate by showing affection.
Hmm.
Okay, rubbing your spouse back, hugging your spouse, doing that eye contact, having that closeness, with the movie night, different things like that, that create intimacy, um more emotional intimacy, and as well as physical intimacy. You guys start to get closer together, and you start to get a closer bond as you communicate with each other and have that separate time with each other. And it's tough to do that, okay? Because we have to know that, Jill, it's called depositing love into your spouse or your significant other, okay? So let's give more love deposits and not negativity deposits. Okay.
Aw.
You get what I'm saying? Because the negativity deposits, now your spouse or your significant other starts to get insufficient
Yeah.
in their emotions. It's basically like the bank, right? So you start to get a negative in your account. So those emotions now are unstable because you're not giving enough love and depositing enough love, but you're depositing more negativity, which is going to
Mm-hmm.
cause you to be unsuccessful.
Wow, it's true. It's true. But someone out there saying though, you got to keep the intimacy alive. How important is that in a relationship, Jesse Lee?
Intimacy. It's very important. But remember, we have a lot of areas of our life that's very important too. So it has to be a balance, right? Okay. So financial, balance, right? Financial, physical balance, which is regarding intimacy and different things like that. Psychologically, balance, emotional balance. All those it's a balance. It's a percentage for all those, and we have to fulfill all those balances. It's going to be difficult to fulfill all those balances. So in order to do that, you have to have that self time
Yeah,
so you guys can achieve that balance together. It's not a
true,
one-way thing.
true.
And you know what, Jill? The thing about it is every day we're not going to give 100% to each other.
Yeah,
That's just the reality of it, right?
it is. It is.
Yes,
It is.
yes. Today I might give 20% to my wife, and my wife may give me that 80%, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow I may give 50, and then my wife may give me the 25% or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. So this is life. Every day is different. But
Mm-hmm.
let's strive towards that 100% together so we can be a whole. Because every day we can't give our 100%. It's just not reality.
That's not
Things
possible.
happen.
Yep,
Things happen. We get
exactly.
frustrated. We get moody. Things happen. But when you have that other spouse that to fulfill that need and to give that
Mm-hmm.
100%, that what really matters.
Beautiful. Well, at this time, let's remind everyone, Jesse Lee, how we can reach out to you, please.
Lee'sCoachingConsulting.com. My email is jlee, number two, win @gmail.com. My
Perfect.
phone number is 203-526-2914.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about now some methods to maybe manage some stress and challenges within a relationship. What do you suggest?
Okay, I would suggest individually, each partner have their own time individually. And you know what? I even tell my wife this: take an hour for yourself. If I'm somewhere else, take an hour for yourself. Write, read, do a
Mm-hmm.
puzzle just to detox your mind
Yeah.
and clear your mind. And now we're able to come together and regroup. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're able to talk about things, we're able to do different things. And also, a good thing to do is to stress. Stress is a lot going on. It's a lot
Yeah.
going on in your mind, right? So a lot of people do things spiritually, which me and my wife, we pray a lot, okay? So increase that prayer life. It helps with stress. It helps with different things. Some people may meditate. Some people may just do journaling and different things, yoga or whatever they do. Have that particular activity to help you guys bond. And when you guys are bonding together, me and my wife, sometimes we breathe, right? We hold hands and we inhale and we exhale. We inhale and we exhale. Then we do it again. Then we turn around and say, okay, how are you feeling? And I haven't did that in a while, but it's a good strategy to do. And you guys can all both detox your feelings, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
talk about things. Talk about the fun things, right? And also be spontaneous. Jill, I did a crazy thing years ago. It was so crazy. I got home from work and I was working, and all of a sudden at 10 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, I'm being honest with you. I said, honey, let's go in a hotel. I want to go in a hotel right now. Let's book a hotel and let's go overnight and let's just chill out and take
Be
that day
us.
off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jill, I'm telling you, I packed my bag so quick. I jumped in a car and we had our two kids and we just went in that hotel. We ordered delivery food and we had such a good time. When you do those spontaneous things, and you have to have fun. Okay,
Yeah.
let's have laughter. Let's laugh. It's really good to laugh, tickle each other, have fun, just enjoy life, just be silly. That helps with stress. And that's what I do. Me and my wife does it all the time. Act like you're 15 years old, whatever you do, you know.
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
idea. And
Yes.
now, and she was down for it. She was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or did it take any convincing though to twist her arm because she felt like she's not used to that being so spontaneous?
Well, you know what? We've been together for a while, so I am pretty spontaneous at times, and
Awesome.
you never know what's gonna happen, right? So she was okay with it at particular time. She hesitated a little bit, but she said, "Okay, you really want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it right now."
Awesome.
And we both got together and we did it, and that's something that partners need to people in a relationship, they need to come together and they need to go with spontaneity.
Yep.
Okay?
All
Go
right.
with different things. Be a risk taker. Do it and enjoy it at the time.
Beautiful. And would you say that how can someone really better understand and meet the emotional needs of their partner? And maybe talk about some tools or resources you recommend to maintain a healthy and thriving relationship, Jesse.
Okay, the tools. Okay, so now we have to resolve our conflicts because we remember before I was talking about the feelings box and the conflicts box, right? So now we need to write down a plan of how to resolve our conflicts. And we can't linger, we can't wait, let's not be stagnant. We need to work on the conflicts one on one. And let's give it a particular time to solve these conflicts because the quicker you solve the conflicts, the quicker you're going to be happy. Okay. So you write down all the things, work one by one, and let's get it done. Maybe every 2 weeks, you get a conflict done and you get something accomplished. And before you know it, by 2 or 3 months, all those conflicts are done, and you guys are both happy. You guys are both now into each other more, and things are happening very positive. And if you do that, you write the things down, you talk about it, you problem solve, and sometimes that don't work, right? So if that don't work, get a marriage counselor. Get a couples counselor. People have a hard time saying, "I don't need counseling." Well, I can handle it myself. Jill, I always tell this to everyone. I always need help. I need help. Even if a child give me advice that may be helpful, that can help me in the future. And you get more knowledge by just asking for help. And when you ask for help, that's when together you guys can solve different things.
Beautifully said. All right. And in giving us some of these tools, can you give us some that are resources for us to help maintain this healthy relationship? Because, everyone wants to know the magic answer, but I'm sure there's no one magic answer. It's a combination of things, right?
Yes, it's no one magic answer. And I would increase your spiritual life if you are spiritual, right? Okay, that's one of the things that you can do.
Hmm.
Also, another thing that you can do, they have all these different apps that with these affirmations and different things that you and your wife or significant other can listen to in the morning. And then as you listen to that, you can motivate each other and you can say, "Wife, you're beautiful today. I love the outfit. I love how you look." And look at your significant other appearance. Look at each other and really notice the small things about each other. Okay, so that's the things that you can do to kind of overcome the obstacles and just try to be happy.
Yeah.
Deal with your mental state. And Jill, this is the thing here. This is what I always say. If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of somebody else, right? So as individual, work on your mental health. And as one, now you're one together because you're a couple. Now you have to work on your mental status together so you can become more clearer. You can understand more things. You know what you want now as a whole. I'm talking about one. When you're a couple, you're not
Hmm.
no more no, you're no more and more two because don't when you come in the house and when you see your wife or when you see your significant other, and when they're smiling or when they're happy or when they're sad, that energy falls on you. You don't want it to fall on you, but you're a part of that person. So now both of you got to come up with different strategies and saying, okay, honey, okay, dear, let's work it out. Let's try to be happy. Let's figure it out here. And sometimes I'd be moody. Sometimes I'd be in a tough mood.
All of
You
us.
got to get what I'm saying? So
I
that
get it. I get
you,
it.
yes, you got to put that energy together and say, let's work it out.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Jesse, in closing today, how did you want to leave off for your listeners? Why they should reach out to you, work with you?
Okay. Well, the thing about it is, this is what I want to say. Relationships are hard. We all know that. But if you have someone to help you, to increase your confidence, to reassure you that things is going to be okay, but we have to make a plan, and we have to make sure
Yeah.
you and your significant other are together. And I'm here to help you and guide you through this process.
Beautiful. All right. Well, remind us how we can reach out to you for a consultation.
My website is leescoachingconsulting.com. My email is jlee2win@gmail.com. And my phone number is 203-526-2914.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And
Thank
pleasure
you very
speaking with
much.
you. Looking forward to our next time that we connect as well. And thank you for always being so insightful.
Thank you very much. And I'll
Thank
see you soon.
You got it. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day. Enjoy the
Okay.
beautiful weather, right? It's nice where you are today, finally.
Absolutely. Thank God.
Same here in New York. All right. Have a good day, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.